Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Football. Match day 12 deadline stream is here. So, as you can already see on screen, I still have two transfers to go. Olise is definitely going to go out for one of the other players. And then I'm going to decide on which one else I'm going to take out. So, I'm just waiting for the sporting lineup to decide whether I'm going to captain one of these two strikers, Suarez or Hauger. I'm probably not going to captain Saka, although I probably expect him to get something in this game. My fear is always him getting subbed. So let's see how that one goes. But at the moment, I've just made one transfer: Timber out, Saliba in. So Olisa is going to be out. So let me just do this first. I'm going to decide on who I'm going to bring in. So I'm going to have 10.4 million to use. So most likely it's going to be Luis Diaz. I've thought about Diaz, I've thought about Kvaratskhelia. So one of them is going to come into my team. I'm scared of going into the game without a Bayern Munich player because Kane is probably not going to start as well. So it's probably going to be Olise out, Kane out, and then I decide on which two players to bring in. So that is how the team is looking at the moment. But the Bayern players are going to both go out. How are you, Ray? How are you, RK? Thank you for being here. Suggest a good Timber replacement, please, from the first four matches. If you have, I had Timber. I took him out to just brought in Saliba. Because I don't really expect a lot of clean sheets, like I said last week, and my predictions were not even close in terms of like the my predictions, the goals that came out in these games were way more than my predictions. I was predicting 3-1, 3-2, but the games ended up being 5-2 and multiple 5-2s, not even one. So second legs are probably not going to be the same. It's probably not going to be another 5-2 from Atletico Madrid, another 5-2 from PSG, but there's going to be more than 4 goals in most of those games. Bayern Munich are probably not going to win 6-1 again. I got in Valverde in place of Olise, thinking of bringing Nuno Mendes in place of Timber. Go for him. I already have Nuno Mendes personally in the team. And for Valverde, obviously Valverde will not score another hat trick, but it's not a bad option. Last week when he scored the second goal, I immediately went to check how many people own him because it's not. We usually don't talk about him a lot in terms of owning him. We usually talk about Vinicius and Mbappe from Real Madrid. How are you, brother? Nice seeing you as always. How are you, Sparta, Saliba, Nuno Mendes? And depends on who else you have in your team, Ray. If you already have another Arsenal defender and you only want one, that's fine. You can go for Nuno Mendes. But if you already have Hakimi, I would go for Saliba. Leverkusen did score from a corner last week. My prediction for that one, I don't expect a clean sheet. There's a 60% chance Arsenal will keep a clean sheet, but personally, as a fan, I'm thinking 2-1 to Arsenal. But those corner kicks and all that, I know Nuno Mendes is very good attacking wise, but I would expect Chelsea to score at least 2, and I don't expect Leverkusen to score 2. Is Ken out or benched? Is most likely going to be benched because Diaz picked up a red card over the weekend and Jackson picked up a red card over the weekend. They're the ones who are probably going to start in this Champions League game because they're not going to play in the league game. So they rather give players like Kane a rest. I think it's very possible that Kane doesn't play a single minute. I think he will play a few minutes, maybe the last 20 minutes or something. I wouldn't risk it though because he's playing on the Wednesday. I wish we knew last week that he wasn't going to play. That was he's very expensive, and having him there and him not playing isn't great. I remember, you guys remember the last sub I made last week? It was bringing in Olisa. I was so lucky, and if you remember at the end, Ray, I had Olisa on the bench. If I hadn't checked, it would have been a nightmare because he ended up getting 18 points. Ryan Gabriel. If you already have Ryan Gabriel in your scenario, then I'd go for Nuno Mendes. I think 3 is a little bit too much. So let me show you guys my team from last week. I'm going to come and make these 2 subs, Olisa and Kane. So usually, whenever we go to the second legs of the round of 16 or quarterfinal, I usually start taking off players who are most likely going to go out. So if I had Chelsea players, for example, if I had Joao Pedro and Palma, they're most likely going to go out. And if I also had Haaland and I also had, let's say, Richarlison, I would start taking off those players because in the next round, yes, we have 5 transfers, but I don't want to get into the next round and have 7 or 8 players who are missing. You might find yourself with 5 players, 6 players who are out, and then the players who are still in, maybe a couple of them are suspended because they are players who could be suspended if they pick up yellow cards. Players like Lamine Yamal, he could be suspended in the next game if he picks up a yellow card. So they have to be careful. So as you can see, in my team, I did not have any Chelsea players last week. Let me go to last week. I did not have any Chelsea players from last week. I did not have any Tottenham players from last week. So the teams who lost heavily in the first leg, basically, I did not have any Tottenham players. I did not have any Atalanta players. I did not have any Chelsea players, and I did not have any Man City players. So I don't have to worry about that scenario. But I did have 2 Sporting players. But the way I'm expecting the game to go today, I'm expecting players like Suarez to have more opportunities because they have to go all out attack. So because I have 5 transfers next time, if I was to imagine which players I'm going to take out in the quarterfinal, Suarez, Rui, Silva, those are 2 transfers used. And the rest of the players, I expect them to be in the next round. So I expect these 2 PSG players to be in the next round. I expect the 3 Arsenal players to be in the next round. I expect the Barcelona player to be in the next round. Same with the Bayern players. Same with the Bodo Glimt player. And so the other 2 players that might go out are Gordon and my Galatasaray goalkeeper. So the worst case scenario is I'm going to have 4 transfers that I'm going to really need to make if they go out next week, unless Chelsea come back from behind and beat PSG, which is unlikely. Unless Man City come from behind and beat Real Madrid 4-1, I'm going to have 4 transfers to make next week. I'll need to make 4 transfers, which will mean I have an extra transfer because we have 5 transfers in the next round. Then if anyone gets suspended in this team, I have an extra transfer. So in that case, I am okay. So as you can see, on the second day, I ended up captaining Saka, which was a big mistake because I had Yamal captain. I had 14 points. And then when it was getting closer to the deadline, I was like, who do I change it to? Should I leave it on 7 points? And I was like, nah, this season is different from last season. Last season, because I was like in the top 1,000, I was kind of playing safe the last 4 weeks, captaining the usual players. But because I'm chasing rank this season, I was like, nah, 7 points is not enough. Let me just change it. But I changed it to the wrong player. It was either going to be Gabriel or Saka. So I would have had the points difference wasn't too big. Gabriel had 5, Saka had 2. So maybe you'd have just had Gabriel as captain. But anyway, still a lot of match days to go. Let me go to the transfer tab. I think Olise is going to go out of my team. I can just make that transfer right now. Let's go for a Bayern Munich player. Luis Diaz. Where's Luis Diaz? Kane is also going to be out. So the 2 of them, Kane is not going to start. So where's Luis Diaz? 7.5. Nicholas Jackson, I'm scared is going to be subbed. Nabry has been predicted in the starting lineup as well. But I'm more sure about Diaz than Nabry because Diaz is suspended for the league game. The only thing that I don't like about Diaz is the fact that he's a striker in the game. And in the actual game is going to play as a winger. I usually prefer, obviously you want your striker to play as a striker in the game, not as a winger or a midfielder. That's what we hate in terms of fantasy games. I don't mind keeping Oblak. Already have Raya. Depends. If you have other issues to solve, you don't have to take Oblak out, especially not for -4. If you don't have any other issues to solve, then you can take him out. But because you expect Oblak to be there in the next round, you expect them to beat Tottenham, you can just keep him in your team and go for Raya because Raya is definitely going to start. So, but if you don't have any other issues in your team and you have, transfers to make, you still have like 2 or 3 to use, I would just go for a different goalkeeper for tomorrow, just in case Raya doesn't keep a clean sheet today. You have a second chance tomorrow. Depends on the other players. So many issues in my team: Madueke, Oblak, Olise, Guerrero, Kane, do a sort players to get rid of. So you have all the 3 transfers intact. Madueke, let's leave him on the side first. Oblak is out. Olise is out. As fast, we deal with the players who are not going to play. So Madueke will play some part. So we first deal with the players that are definitely not going to play. So Olise is suspended. You get rid of him. He's also very expensive. Guerrero, Kane, Due. I think we have to get rid of Kane as well. He's too much money and he's probably not going to start. Even if he plays at the end for 20 minutes, you have to take out the Bayern Munich players and bring in another Bayern Munich player. So if Kane and Olise are out, I would bring in one player. But you're asking for just the ones to get rid of. I'm going to get rid of Olise and Kane first. And then the third one would be Guerrero. Due will probably not start. I think it's going to be Kvaratskhelia this time, but Due still has a chance of coming on. Kvara will not play all 90 minutes. And Madueke still has a chance of starting as well. Saka, I have him as captain in my team right now, but I'm definitely going to change that. Last week, I clearly said, and I don't even know why I captained him. I clearly said on the stream that I expect Saka not to play 90 minutes. Madueke is going to be there, and Madueke is going to play as well. But I did not expect Saka to be subbed off that early. That was way too early. Before the 60th minute, that was very early. So I'm not going to risk it again. I'm not even going to be surprised because Arsenal have a final this weekend. I would not be surprised at all if I don't see Saka starting and he comes on as a sub or he gets subbed off around the 60th minute again. But it depends. Or even if he starts, he's most likely going to be in a different position unless it doesn't give Madueke another chance. So there's still a chance Madueke could start. Let's see. And Trossard is back, so that's why it becomes a problem. I know who starts on the left side, who starts on the right side. Who to bring in for my last one now, thinking of Atletico Madrid midfielder. From the starting lineups that we've been given, players like Lookman are going to start. So if you prefer him, you can go for him. I'm going to show you guys the predicted lineups. Forward like Alvarez. Alvarez could be a good option as well. I mean, he's in the thumbnail. It's either going to be Semenyo to Lookman or Joao Pedro to Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez. It's either going to be Semenyo to Lookman or Pedro to Julian Alvarez. So in that case, I mean, Man City and Chelsea both have to go for 8. Between those two, all my fear with Alvarez is getting subbed off early. I don't like the way he gets subbed off early. That's my worry. I just don't like players who get subbed off that early. But if I was to choose from those ones, Semenyo, I feel like Semenyo could get an attacking return. Joao Pedro, I feel like both. Pedro, if Chelsea score, Pedro is going to be the one who scores. So in that one, I think both options are very close. I'm going to lean towards the second option, Ray, 55%, and the first one, 45%. Thank you, RK, for the support as always. Appreciate it. I have a feeling we'll get close to the 2-0 win. I think Man City will score this time. I think it's going to be 2-2 draw this time. Soloth could be another forward. Yep, that's another one. So let me quickly make these transfers. So I've thought about Kvara, I've thought about Diaz, I've also thought about Alvarez. I'm going to stick with the 3 Arsenal players. I'm not going to bring in a fourth. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in players who are probably going to be in the next round. So Diaz is one of them. Players like Gnabry are one of them. So the teams have considered Bayern, sorry. PSG as well, with Kvara and Atletico Madrid. There's Atletico Madrid. Yeah, those are the 3 teams really that I want to bring players from. The rest, I think I'm well covered. Madrid, I'm happy with Vinicius. Sporting, I'm happy with Suarez. The lineups are out as well. So let me see who Sporting is starting. Who's starting at Sporting? Let's see. And let me give you guys the team news as well. So Sporting CP, where are you? Let's see, Sporting CP. Let's see who starts for Sporting. So Suarez starts up front, Trincao starts in the middle, Pedro Gonçalves starts. Those are the 3 players that are usually owned. And then if you have their defender, Inacio, you could go for him. But I'm looking at the attackers more. So Suarez, Trincao, Pedro, G. Bodo Glimt are very good, though. Bodo Glimt is not a team that is going to just go and lose 5-0. Usually when a team goes back to the second leg and they go away from home, you're like, okay, maybe this time Suarez scores 2 and all that. But For Border Glimt, they have Hauger, Hogg, and Blomberg up front. Blomberg was on penalties last week. I think he is the one who's on penalties, which is crazy. So those are the lineups for the players who are going to be mostly owned from those two teams. So for where is it? I'm pretty sure I bookmarked stuff. Where is it? As I continue to answer the question, what about Saka? Saka is going to stay in my team because I have other problems to sort out, but I'm definitely not going to captain him. I'm going to change that probably to Suarez. I was just waiting to see whether Suarez was going to start. But if Saka is out of your team, I wouldn't like bring him in or transfer him in. There's a chance he gets subbed off. There's a chance he doesn't even start because of Madueke and Trossard and all those guys. And the form, Saka hasn't played well for like 2 months now. Forgot about Griezmann. Can take him as a forward. Griezmann is usually such a rotation risk. I'll show you the Atletico Madrid predicted lineup. What about defender Jonathan Tah? I think Atalanta will score, but if you need a buy-in defender, also because they're going to be in the next round already, I don't think is a big issue. Personally, I've never liked Bayern Munich defenders. Like if you check my teams from the last 2 seasons plus this season, I rarely have the Bayern Munich defenders. I usually feel like they'll concede. And I do also usually prefer the likes of Hakimi and Gabriel in the team anyway. So let's see. Let me tell you guys this. So there's a few players who are suspension risks. There are a few players who are injury risks. So let me quickly just do this. Atletico Madrid. Let me show you the Atletico Madrid team first. Ray. So their predicted lineup is where is it? So Oblak is not going to be there. We've already been told that. Oblak is not going to be there. This is crazy. Last week there was like 4 goalkeepers who missed, and this time there's also Oblak who's missing. So if you had Neuer and Oblak and who was the other one? Alisson, all of those goalkeepers have ended up missing the games. So the Atletico Madrid team news, or Lookman is predicted to start, so that is good. Alvarez is predicted to start, so that is good as well. Where is the full team? I'm looking for the full team because there's people who have defenders. Looking for the full team. Atletico Madrid. So Lenormand is predicted to start. Griezmann is predicted to start ahead of Soloth. That is according to the training 11 that was playing Ray. Griezmann is expected to start ahead of Soloth. Simeone's son is there as well in the lineup. Giuliano, Lokman, Llorente is there in the predicted lineup. Alvarez with Griezmann. So I think the safest option is Alvarez because it's the one that is in most teams in terms of predicted teams. Let's see. Change the screen in my team page. No, not Twitter. Let's leave it at that first. I'll change the screen later. Let me do these teams first. But from the players that you've considered, they're there. Apart from Soloth. Galatasaray, is anyone going for anyone apart from Osimhen? San is expected to start. Lamine is expected to start if you have any of them. Liverpool is not a guarantee Liverpool will go through. I would not be surprised if that game ended 1-1 or 2-2. The way Liverpool play, Mbappe is predicted to be on the bench. So their lineup is Courtois, Trent, Rudiger, Hausen, Fran, Valverde, Tchouameni, Thiago, Goulet. Brahim Diaz is predicted to start, interesting, and Vinicius Jr. That's according to Marca. No Musiala tomorrow, so if you wanted Musiala as a differential, he's not going to play tomorrow. Man City predicted lineup. There's Semenyo, there's Haaland, there's Shaki, there's Bernardo, Rodri, O'Reilly. So no Foden in the predicted lineup. If anyone was thinking of going to City players. For Bayern Munich, they're predicted to start Jackson, Diaz, Gnabry, and Karl. Defensively, Tah, Kim, Stanisic, Bischoff are expected to start. Let's see. There's players who are also yellow card risks that you need to watch out for. I'm going to read for you that list as well. So Saka will play in the game, but my fear is how long he's going to play. Captain Hauger for fun. I'm thinking of Suarez because they have to go for the game more. So let's actually do that right now. Let's bring in so I can't bring in Alvarez and Diaz, so that's a problem. I'm going to have to do Lookman. The games I've had Lookman in, he's not impressed me. He's always been scoring in the games that I don't have him in fantasy, like in his debut and stuff. Should I go? Last week I was trying to decide between Olise and Due. I ended up going for the right one in Olise. I hope I go for the right one again. So Alvarez or Luis Diaz? Or should I just go for Alvarez and Nabri? Apart from Alvarez, is there any other forward I could go for? I just don't trust. I don't want to bring in players who are most likely going to go out. Is there any other forward? If I go for if I go for Diaz, is there any other midfield I could go for? Kvara, Simeone, Vitinha. I knew it last week. Remember when I said if I take out Vitinha, I'm going to be in trouble. I just had a feeling. Of course, he ended up scoring. Bakola is most likely going to start, but do PSG have to go for it really? Because Chelsea have to go for it, will they get more spaces? Always so tough making these transfers. Diaz. Yeah, I'm going to go for Diaz. Diaz is going to be in my team. I'm going to bank on Atletico not scoring 5 goals again. So Diaz is in my team for now. One more transfer to make, 13.7 million remaining. Usually I'd be running to Salah in the previous season with that kind of money, but this season, nope. No, thank you. So midfielders, will Kvara or Valverde go insane again this match day? So let me just make that transfer fast and change my captain, and then I decide on the last transfer. The captain is going to be Suarez. He has to go for it. So captain is Suarez. I thought about Gabriel, but I'm just going to stick with Suarez as my captain and hope that he delivers. Last time, 2 match days ago, and I didn't go for the early game, Gordon captain, I got punished. So this time I'm just going to trust my gut instinct and go for Suarez. So Olise is going to be out, but who comes in? Let's go to midfielders. You're captaining Hauger. First day for fun could work, but it depends on which games are being played tomorrow. Usually on the first day you can captain someone for fun, but you don't want to make any errors, you know. Why do I keep forgetting which games are today? No, Arsenal is today. No, Chelsea, PSG, Real Madrid, Man City, or Man City, Madrid. So I'm sure there's people who are going to captain Haaland. I'm sure this is actually. Let me just put that poll. Let me ask you guys in the chat who are you captaining? A player from which team are you captaining? Let's quickly put a poll. Who are you captaining on the first day? Are you captaining? Let me first ask who are you captaining in terms of position, or should I do team? Or you can just vote and then you can just comment which player you're actually captaining. Poll. Where's the poll? Start a poll. Who are you captaining? Who are you captaining? Oh, from which team are you captaining a player from? Let's start alphabetically. An Arsenal player. Which other game is today? Man City, Madrid, Chelsea, PSG, Sporting player. Is anyone captaining a Sporting player? Let's see. Sporting or Glimt player. Third option, Man City player. Real Madrid is Vinicius. No, I don't think many of you are going to captain Vinicius. So let me use PSG. If you don't see any option from those options, let me know who you're captaining. I think most people are considering from those teams. Lucas says 3 free transfers: Cancelo, Saliba to replace Timber. Also, should I sell Kane for Diaz or Alvarez, or should I sell Semenyo for Valverde? I am also bringing Kvara for Lise. Okay. Personally, basically, have the 3 problems that I had in my team, exact problems. So I personally took out. I brought in Saliba for Timber. There's still a small chance Newcastle could go through, but Cancelo is a very, very good option. So again, for that one, it depends. If you already have Gabriel and Raya, then I would go for Cancelo in your scenario. If you already had just Gabriel and you're happy with one defender, then you can go for Cancelo. But I usually would double up on Arsenal for the home games in the Champions League. So I'd still go for Saliba, depending on who else you have defensively. If you have any other Arsenal players, Kane for Diaz, yes, that is exactly what I've done because they have the home game. For that one as well, because I didn't have any other Bayern Munich cover, because I'm taking out Olise and Kane, I had to bring in Diaz, just someone to cover from Bayern. And then that's what was scaring me last week, and I was very right because they ended up scoring 6 goals. I almost went without Olise, and I transferred him into the deadline stream. And then Semenyo for Valverde, I'm bringing Kvara for... Should I sell Semenyo for Valverde? No, I'll do Diaz. I'll do the one for Diaz, and then bring in Kvara for Olise. Yeah, go for it. So Olise obviously is out. You go for the PSG player. I'll tell you guys my predictions as well. So for me, Olise is out, but who am I going to bring in? That's a problem. I even considered another Sporting player, but I don't want to have too many problems next week. I do not want to have too many headaches next week. In terms of goal odds, Bayern Munich expected to score 2+ goals again, or 3+ goals actually in this round. Same with Liverpool, 56% for both. Arsenal 43%, Barcelona 42%. So these are the teams that expect to score 3+ goals. Interesting. Chelsea 32%, Man City 40%. I don't know how accurate these are. I feel like Chelsea to score 3 goals against PSG, it's a possibility, but even 32% is too high. Even Sporting to score 3+ goals against Bodo Glimt. I mean, for my team, I would love it if it ends 3-2 and both Hauge and Suarez score. Barcelona, Newcastle is not an easy team defensively that you're just going to score 4 goals against. The way Arsenal played, 3 goals, I'm expecting 2. Liverpool, the way Liverpool are playing. So there's going to be goals in the Champions League, obviously. I mean, we saw it last week. There's going to be a bunch of goals, actually. So my predictions, Ray says today I'm having okra and chicken with chapati, Indian bread. Love chapati, Ray. Love chapati. Are you having it during the game or right now? Let me go to the prediction tabs quickly, and then I come and check out Olise. So I think I'm doing very good in the prediction leagues. I'm top of the Everything Football, and third in Kenya, and 382 in the world. So let's see if I can get in the top 100 the predictions. So my prediction is Arsenal 2-0, but there's a slight chance Leverkusen could score. I've gone for Man City and Real Madrid 2-2 for this week. I've actually gone for Chelsea to lose again. Chelsea 2, PSG 3. I've gone for Barcelona 2, Newcastle 1, so close game. Tottenham 1, Atletico 3 is what I've gone for. I think Tottenham will focus more on the league. And then Liverpool 2, Galatasaray 1. So I have predicted extra time for the Liverpool game against Galatasaray. Last week, I had Galatasaray Liverpool 1-1. It ended up being 1-0 to Gala. I went for Barcelona to win 3-2. It was 1-1. I went for Bayern to win 3-1. It was 6-1. I went for Arsenal to win 2-0. It was 1-1. I went for Madrid Man City 2-2. It was 3-0 to Madrid. I went for PSG to beat Chelsea. But there was 3 more goals for PSG in that one. So I had 72 points from last week. So those are my predictions for this match day. The games that are not here are Bayern Atalanta, I think Bayern will win 3-1. And the other one that is not here is which day is it? Today. The other one is Sporting Glimt. I'm also going to go for Sporting 2, Bodo Glimt 1 for today's game. So those are my predictions. So goals for nearly everyone. So the only team I'm predicting to keep a clean sheet here is Arsenal. And the other one that could keep a clean sheet is maybe Liverpool. Liverpool, really? I also don't trust Liverpool a lot, especially at Anfield. The Liverpool fans will tell you this season they've not been great. They've dropped points against all the smaller teams in the league. This Olise, who am I going to take out Olise for? Is it going to be Kvara or Vitinha has 78 points? Is there any other differential midfield I should go for, really? No, I'm not bringing any Arsenal players. So Martinelli, no. Due, no. Simeone, no. Amina Lukman, no. Vats, definitely not. Let's see. I mean, players like Salah could still do something, but nah, let me just go for players who we've seen doing something this season. Trincao, 6. How is Trincão's form? Although I expect Sporting to go out 11.5. I mean, I had him. There's a time I had Trincao. I don't know if it was for this Club Brugge game or the PSG game. This time I had Trincao. I don't have any PSG attacking cover. So, because of that reason, I'm going to go for Kvara. My decision is made. Kvara in, Diaz in, Kane out, Olise out. I brought in Saliba for Timber. Done with that one. Yeah, those are my transfers. My team is ready. Let me confirm once again who's playing today and tomorrow. Let me make sure I don't have any players playing tomorrow on the bench or today. Kvara is on my bench, so let me take out Yamal. Yamal out. So let's confirm again. 18th. Yeah, let me just put Yamal here in the first sub for the sake of it. Yes, in case I fall asleep tomorrow and I don't make transfers. Sub, sorry. So I think that is good enough. I only have 4 players tomorrow. Yeah, I only have 4 players tomorrow, 11 today. So let's hope. My best return from last week was Olise, and then followed by the goalkeeper. The Galatasaray goalkeeper I had kept a clean sheet against Liverpool. I don't know how, because Liverpool had like 4 or 5 chances in the first 10 minutes, but they didn't score. So I'm happy with that. Suarez captain. Let's see how it goes. Gordon is playing tomorrow. No, let me just do this. Let me bring in Diaz for Gordon. So I have 5 players playing tomorrow. 10 today, 5 players tomorrow. Done. Not the best balance, but still okay, I guess. Yeah, happy with that. I'm happy with that. That is my final team for match day 12. I had Trincao for the Carrot game. Lookman, I mean, I want them to beat Tottenham again anyway. But yeah, I trust Alvarez more and I couldn't bring him in. So I had to go for Diaz. But Lookman, if you're under differential, you can go for him. And now the game starts at 1:30 a.m. Crazy, man. You guys are very hardworking in terms of the time you wake up for games or the time you sleep. The World Cup, the World Cup that is coming up, Ray, the one in America and Mexico and Canada, the times are going to be so crazy. There's games that are going to start at 1 a.m. for you, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Basically, if you're going to want to watch all those games, you're going to be needing to sleep like in the morning and afternoon and staying up at night, especially on weekends. Valverde could be a good option, but personally I've gone for Kvaratskhelia. So it depends on if you have any other Madrid players. For me, I'm happy with just Vinicius. He should have scored the penalty last week. That would have been game over, actually. I think it's still game over, but that would have confirmed it. Valverde, very good option. I think Madrid are going to score 2 goals, and Valverde is most likely going to be involved. So, yeah, I would have players like Kvaratskhelia ahead of him on that list, but you'd be like third on my list to bring in if you want to bring him in. Let me show you. When did I have Trincao? Pretty sure I had Trincao somewhere. Did I have him on the bench? Trincao. Yeah, I had Trincao on match day 1. He gave me 17 points. He was actually my first team for this season, so I was very close to bringing him in again. This was my match day 1 team. How things change, man. I missed Dumfries. Look at that. Grimaldo, Gabriel, Dumfries, Hakimi, all doing something. Trincao 17 point. Hopefully doesn't do the same today. Mbappe as a captain has been historic this season. 26 points match day 1, 36 in match day 2. Match day 3 blanked, same as match day 4, but there's another one where he came and scored a bunch of goals. Match day 5, 44 points. So Mbappe as an option, I miss him terribly as an option. He had like multiple bangers this season, sorry. So my team is ready. Let me know how your team is looking and who you're captaining. I can check that again. Who are you guys captaining? And then I wanted to check if there's any more updates on teams and if there's any updates on team news and lineups, and also the players who are going to be suspended. Does anyone have a Madrid defender? So Kvara, Dembele, and Bacola expected to start from the team news. Does anyone have Haaland as well? Ekitike, those guys, Salah. I'm looking for the players who are going to be suspended. UCL fantasy. Suspension. I need to confirm is Vinicius. I think Vinicius is on that list. Did you watch Adegola 7-3? Yeah, I saw it. What a chip. That was against Elche, right? I didn't watch the game. I think it was same time with, was it Arsenal or there was some other Premier League game that was going on? But yeah, I did see it. I didn't even actually see the other goals in that. I saw Housen's header. What am I talking about? I also saw Housen's header. His same game in Nagula's middle of the pitch goal. I didn't see the other goal though. Ideally, this week I'm hoping for Arsenal 2-0, Saka to score, Gabriel and Saliba clean sheets, PSG to get 2-0, Hakimi, Nuno Mendes with the assist for Kvara. That would be beautiful. Diaz, another 3-0 for Bayern. Diaz hat-trick, that would be perfect. Man City not to score, Real Madrid to score 2-0, or maybe Man City to score, yes, but someone like a John Stones off the bench to come on for 1 minute and score, not Haaland or anyone like that. And then hopefully a clean sheet for Sporting, or if not, Hauge scores a couple of goals. So all of these players that I have in my team, there's like 4 I'm expecting to be eliminated. So 5 transfers is enough for next time. There's one season where the team that we expected to go through went out, and I ended up needing to make like 7 transfers, but I only made 5, and I think played with 13 players all the way through to the final. Suspension list. Why is it now disappeared? I had it saved. Let me change this. You put bookmarks and then you come back and find them not there. Okay, I think I got them now. Yeah, these are the players who are going to be suspended if they pick up a yellow card. Suarez in my team, Suarez, Yamal, Kvara, and Vinicius. So I actually have 4 players, and Mendes, 5 players who could be suspended for the next game. So that would be a disaster, but there was no way to take them all out. So Suarez, Grimaldo, Yamal, Fermin Lopez, Enzo Fernandez, Kuvara, Mendes, Donnarumma, Gehi, O'Reilly, Housen, Vinicius, Ban, Upamecano. Any of them picks up a yellow card, suspended for the quarterfinal first leg. So those are a lot of players. And I think most people have these players. I think there's no one. I don't think any of you, anyone playing this game would like not have any, at least two of these players. Suarez, Grimaldo, Yamal. I think most people have Yamal anyway. I think most people have Nuno Mendes anyway. I think many people have Vinicius, and I think many people will be bringing in Suarez and Kvara and maybe a couple of people have Upamecano. So yeah, I don't think there's anyone without any of these players on the list. So if Sporting come back from behind and beat Bodo Glimt, for my team, that is more ideal. And as an Arsenal fan, I actually don't want to play Bodo Glimt anyway. I know it's not easy, so I prefer Sporting. Thoughts on Palmer as an option for the game? Nah. Chelsea have to go for it. I've predicted Chelsea to score 2 goals. He's on penalties. It's a major. How many people have Palmer? I've not checked that recently. Chelsea midfielders. Let's see. Palmer. He's just not been on form this season. 5% on him. So he's a big differential. But man, I know he was injured, but the game that he's played is 7 points against Bayern. I remember his goal that day. 7 against Napoli, 2 assists. There's so many other midfielders. That's the problem. There's so many other midfielders. You know, you're going to take out Yamal for Palmer. Are you going to take out depends on how the rest of your midfield looks. I mean, I have Saka in my team, but I also don't really like Saka as an option for this particular round. I didn't like him in the last match day. Not really, happy and over the moon to have him this match day as well, because he could be sub, he might not start. So if you want a major differential, yes, Palmer. But for me, I try to avoid players who are already going out so that you don't have too many headaches for the next round. Depends on who else you have. If you already have Haaland and you already have Pedro, especially if you already have Pedro, definitely don't go for Palmer. If you don't have any Chelsea players or any Tottenham players, or you only have one Man City player, you don't have too many other headaches in your team, Palmer could be a differential. There's no problem with going with at least one differential in your team. That's fine. And 5% for someone like a Palmer's on penalties. So yeah, as a differential, I would say yes, but only if you don't have Pedro and only if you don't have other problems in your team. Kane replacement have gone for Diaz. There's Diaz you can go for. There's Julian Alvarez you can go for, depending on which team you trust more, and depending if you have other Bayern Munich assets in the rest of your team. I think you have to have a Bayern Munich player. So if you don't have any, then I would just go for Diaz for Kane. If you already do have someone who's playing, then you can always go for Julian Alvarez as an option. Suarez from Sporting is an option if you don't have him. Can't imagine this is our fourth season together. Time flies. Yep. I think I've been doing this since 2021. I mean, I've been playing UCL fantasy since around 2017. And then in terms of content, I think since 2021. How are you, Vera? Nice to see you. All I say is last game week, I missed deadline. Only made goalkeeper transfer, and I captained Alvarez, moved from 3.8 to 3.5. Look at you, look at you improving when you didn't even make transfers. I went down in ranking and I made my transfers. This game is so unfair. Thoughts on Mbappe to Hugo Dembele, Girassi to Osimhen, and McKennie to Yamal, then captain Hugo Dembele. So Girassi to Osimhen, I think there are other better striker options, because Van Dijk could just decide to turn up tomorrow and Osimhen doesn't get a chance. I think these are the better options, but if you want to do Guirassy to Osimhen, then that's fine. McKennie to Yamal, 100%. You can do that. Mbappe to Holger Dembele. I would choose Dembele between those ones. I would choose Dembele. Um, yeah, I trust more the Dembele than Hog in that on that list. Hog is not even on penalties. That's the other problem. For PSG, it could be Vitinho or Dembele taking penalties. But yeah, for the striker option, I'm interested to see who's the other strikers in your team. Assuming I made my transfer last game, Mikael captain Kane too. Yeah, Kane definitely. Oh, if you made transfers last week, you'd captain Kane. So I guess it's a good thing that you forgot. Sometimes it works perfectly. For me, I had Olise on the bench last week when he was playing on the Tuesday. So thankfully, I didn't forget. If I had forgotten, yeah, it would have been terrible. Olise to who and Kane to who? Yeah, Ryan Garcia. Let's see your Alvarez. So you have Olise and Kane. So Nabry is also going to start for Bayern according to the lineup. So if you trust Nabry, I wish Diaz was a midfielder in the game. I don't like the fact that he's a striker. If he was a midfielder, it would have made things very, very easy. So because Diaz is suspended for the league game, I would go for Diaz and take out Kane. And then Olise, if you take out Olise, there's other options. It could be Kvara, you could go for Vitinha. If you don't have Yamal in your team, you can go for him. If you want Atletico Madrid players and you feel like they're going to score more against Tottenham, there's players like Lookman. So Diaz, you can bring him in and then you can decide who you want to take out for Olise. Unless if you want another double up on Bayern, then you can go for Nabry too. Gordon is an option too. I want to captain Valverde, but I think I'll stick with Hauger. Both of them, there's a big chance both of them score one goal, as in their teams. Two, maybe too high. Again, Array, you have opportunities to go for one or two differentials in your team. Maybe one player differential and then captains, you can go for differential, depending on where you are in terms of rank. If you're very high in rank and you want to protect your position, then you just go for the usual players. But if you're chasing, then no problem captaining players like Valverde. I remember you from 4 years ago, Relax in Central. I remember you too. Thank you. The Hog captain today, if he doesn't do well, I will change it to Yamal or Alvarez. That's fine. That's fine. Who are the other players playing today, though? Casper Hog. I mean, Hog is always in my team in the Norwegian fantasy. But Norwegian fantasy and Champions League fantasy is very different. So if that is how you're feeling, you want him as a differential, go for him. And then tomorrow you have Yamal and Alvarez to turn to. You can go for it. I am 28-78 in the world. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, you can go for Valverde. That's a good spot. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're going to. The only thing that could be a disaster is if you captain Valverde, and then Saka scores a hat trick, and Kvara scores a hat trick, and all the players from today end up scoring a bunch of goals, and Valverde picks up a red card. That's the only way you can drop like below 5K. So my team will look like this: Hug, Dembele, and Alvarez, Hug or Dembele, and then Alvarez and Osimhen, and then midfield Gordon, Vinicius, Lookman, Vitinha, Yamal, DiMarco, Raya, or Black, then maybe Captain Hug or Dembele today. What do you think? So Hug, Dembele, Alvarez. Are you missing someone there, Dembele? So you've decided to go for Hug. So Hug, Alvarez, Osimhen. That's an interesting forward line. I mean, I guess someone looking at my forward line as well could react the same because be like Hauger and Suarez. So I think there's a few people with different forward lines this time. There's people with Haaland, there's people with Alvarez, there's people with Griezmann. So I think it's different. Midfield, Gordon, Vini, Vitinha, Yamal. That's okay. Mendes, Ban, Hakimi, Grimaldo, DiMarco, Raya, or Black, then maybe Captain Hog or Dembele. Don't want to follow the crowd with Vinicius captain. Yeah, today, many people captaining Vinicius. That's interesting. The fact that he missed that penalty last week, I didn't like that penalty. I don't think Vinicius is going to get 10 plus points away at Man City. I usually try to look for the player who's going to, get at least 9 points. Great rank. Yep, Ray's doing great this season. Luis Suarez will score for sure, but High can get a brace. Hog can get a brace. Depends, because Sporting at home, I'm trusting Sporting more because they're at home this match day. You are welcome. Yeah, I've been playing Norwegian Fantasy since 2019 season. So what happened? I played 2019 season, and then I didn't play 2020 season because COVID had come, and there was, I think, changes in when the leagues were starting and all that. I missed the deadline, and after like 3 weeks, I realized, oh no, the league started. So I didn't play 2020, but I played the rest since then. Yeah, Norway is not easy. That temperature over there, I don't know about that temperature over there. I prefer Sporting. Although with that said, Sporting did knock out Arsenal as well in the Europa League a couple of seasons ago. I remember playing Norwegian Fantasy and ranking top 100 without even watching a game. Yep, same. I never watch any game. There's nowhere to watch the games anyway. I think unless you pay for their services, but yeah, I'm not going to pay for their services to watch Molde playing against Troms or something. Not going to do that. And yeah, their games are played in the same time as Premier League and La Liga, so we wouldn't have time for that. But yeah, it's fun. It's very, very fun. Because their season also goes on after the rest of the leagues close. I only play UCL and FPL Fantasy. I played Club, a World Cup or this year, and I played AFCON Fantasy. World Cup Fantasy is coming up, so that's a good one. I used to play MLS Fantasy as well, but they changed their apps and all that, so I'm not playing it this season. But yeah, there's other things I'm playing: NBA Fantasy and Formula One Fantasy, and is there another one I'm missing? No, I think they put a survey, UEFA, whether they should bring in Europa League Fantasy. I would like to see that as well. So you only have less than 20 minutes before the deadline. Less than 20 minutes before the deadline. Does anyone have Rafinha? I've not had Rafinha this round. Van Dijk. If I was to make this team again, I would not have Van Dijk. He's a threat in terms of set pieces and good at ball recoveries. That's why I have him. I don't trust Liverpool at all. Bodo Glimt. What a team. I'm doing wonders in F1 Fantasy. Ray, what are you doing? Who did you have? Did you have Antonelli and Russell and all those guys? I had Verstappen in one of my teams. Well, that did not go as planned, and I used the chip. Good luck too. I used the chip. I used a chip on both teams, and I had Verstappen for the limitless chip. And yeah, I think he got like 6 points or something. So for the fantasy game in Formula One, they give you an option to have 3 teams, so or under one account. So that is interesting. I used Limitless. I used Limitless as well, but I went for Verstappen, so that was a wasted spot. And got in Ferrari and 2 players, and Mercedes and 2 players, and Verstappen. Yeah, Verstappen let people down. Those teams are very expensive though in the game. That's crazy. So you have to like have a couple of players who are cheaper or drivers who are cheaper, or a couple of teams that or constructors that are cheaper. Dembele for Kane. If you don't have Kuvara or you don't have Bakola and those guys, yes, you can go for Dembele for Kane. But do you have any Bayern Munich cover? Because Bayern Munich are still going to get another 4 goals. So I think you must have Bayern Munich cover. If you already have a midfield or something, then you can go for Dembele for Kane. Bayern Munich have a more chance of scoring 3+ goals against against Atalanta than PSG against Chelsea, although they scored 5 last week. The time is usually the problem, Ray. Because if FPL, sometimes like you see this year, FPL is like after every 2 days. So you have to be like every day doing FPL fantasy. Now that was the first like thing I did on everything football FPL content. I used to do it on everything Arsenal at that point. To be so fun. There has to be a lot of research and all that. So that's my final team. I can come out of this page actually. Let me go back to the usual page. Let me confirm. Make sure after you make all your transfers and your subs and all that, you just confirm and make sure that all the players that you have on the bench are players from the second day, and you have no one on the first day sitting on your bench. Just to confirm, like I had Olise on my bench last week, and I almost didn't check, and I checked with 5 minutes remaining, and I saw he was on my bench. So all my players are tomorrow here, and then I have everyone on the 17th starting. So the teams that are going to go through, I'm going to go for Bodo Glimt, Arsenal, Real Madrid, PSG, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Atletico Madrid. But Liverpool is not guaranteed. I mean, you cannot be guaranteed at all. Even Arsenal against Leverkusen is not guaranteed. If is there anyone who's guaranteed here? Yeah, Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid is guaranteed, and I think PSG is guaranteed. Like 100% definitely going to go through. With Man City and Madrid, there's like a 10% chance Man City could score goals. I would give them a chance. I'd give Galatasaray 20-30% chance. I'd give Leverkusen maybe a 15% chance. Sporting, you never know. Sporting did a comeback against Dortmund last time. So could they do another one this time? Possibly, you never know. Let's see. How are you, Sue? Hey, Glenn, how are you doing? I am doing good. Thanks for asking. Hope you're doing good as well. Do you think that Kane is going to be benched? Yes, I think he's going to be benched. Because Diaz is suspended for the weekend and Jackson is suspended for the weekend, and they're already 6 goals up. There's no need to risk Kane. He has like 2 goals to go before he becomes like the first England player to score 50 Champions League goals. So he's chasing a record, but nah, there's no need of risking him. I might come on, but I wouldn't risk that one. So I've taken him out. He's not in the predicted lineups. Vera says Arsenal midfielder, 8 million. Rice would usually be my option because he's on those corners and all that. Saka is too expensive. The rest, I can't lie to you, Vera. The rest, the rotation risk is too high. I cannot tell you who starts between Trossard and Martinelli. I cannot tell you if Madueke starts or doesn't this time. He might start because he had a very good game against Grimaldo when he came on last week. So the only one who's really guaranteed to start there 100% is Rice and Zubimendi. And Zubimendi, I wouldn't suggest to put him in your team. So it's only really Rice. Even Eze, there's no 100% guarantee. We've seen Saka playing as a 10 in a couple of games. So there's a scenario where it could be Madueke on the right, Saka as a 10, and Eze on the bench. So just to be on the safe side, it just has to be Rice is the only one really who's definitely going to start. FIFA bots, yes, I remember. Your PFP is the same. It is. Ray also changed his name completely, and there's a time he commented, I was like, who the hell is this? Scarlet Sky Terror 15. And I think it changed your profile picture as well. So for the Arsenal team, it's only defenders. I've seen a couple of people sending their teams without Gabriel. That's brave. It's very bright. How many people have Gabriel? 32%. I just think Gabriel is like a points magnet. Even when the game ended 1-1 last week, it was 5 points. All the games that he was playing, 9 points, 6 points, 15 points, 6 points. Inter Milan is the only one that he got one. Inter Milan didn't start, did he? No, he came on, yeah. So basically, when Gabriel starts, he gets plus 5 points. Automatic. David Raya is an interesting one. I've never really had David Raya anywhere in FPL or UCL fantasy. He's a very good goalkeeper, but I usually have other players like Gabriel and Timba and Calafiori. So I never really have space for Raya. So for Arsenal, for any other options from Arsenal, even Gyökeres is not really a guarantee. Remember, there's also Havertz. Havertz is the other one who you wouldn't be surprised if you see him starting in midfield. So because there's so many options, the only good options are really good. Even defensively, you don't know if it's going to be Nkappi or Calafiori. So the only guaranteed options are Raya, Gabriel, Saliba, and Rice. I mean, some can argue Saka is obviously going to start, but I don't know about obviously because Arsenal have a cup final and Madueke is there and Trossard is there, Martinelli is there. Rice is the only one. How much is Rice? 7 million. Timber is out. So some people would be like, Ben White differential? Nope. It could be Mosquera starting at right back. Like I can't even tell you who starts at right back. That's a good thing. It's hard to predict the team. So that means the opposition managers are also trying to guess who's going to be starting. Best goalkeeper in the league for sure. For sure. It's the username after YouTube changed it. Last week, I remember Ray. We were debating whether to bring in Due. I would have been so mad if I brought in Due and they scored 5 goals and he didn't do anything. That's just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy that they did all that and Due didn't do anything at all. Olise is selected by 33%. Olise next round is straight back into the team. Obviously, they'll be up against Real Madrid most likely. Enzo Fernandez 3% owned, Konza 1% owned. Charlotte is not expected to start. Pope is the other goalkeeper who didn't play last time. So there's like 4 or 5 defenders who are not playing. Oh, goalkeeper, sorry. Vera says best 8 million. Like midfielder? Do you mean midfielder or just overall player? Because you had said Arsenal mid 8 million. I'm guessing you're looking for midfielders 8 million. So before the deadline, can you tell me quickly who are your other midfielders that you have in your team? For the best one around that price, I would say players like Vitinha and Kovar, but Kovar is 8.1. Vitinha is slightly cheaper, and Vitinha is always a great option. I took him out last week for Olise, so that's why I didn't pain as much. I usually don't like taking out Vitinha from my team. Grimaldo is the one that scared me. When I took out Grimaldo, it was a bit of Arsenal bias. And he looked like he was so close to keeping a clean sheet, and he had gotten an assist as well. It was a nightmare. When it was 1-0 to Leverkusen, I was thinking, oh no, Leverkusen about to beat Arsenal, and I took out Grimaldo thinking that he would be getting like 2 points, and he was on for a bunch of points, man. He was almost keeping a clean sheet. Be a bad man and captain Vinicius. No, they've already scored 3 goals. I'm usually worried about the teams that have already scored 3-4 goals. Apart from Bayern at the machine, Bayern can score another 6 goals. Next round, though, Ray, next round, I might be captaining Vinicius. Mbappe. If you get a penalty today again, Ray, is Vinicius definitely going to take it, or is Valverde going to step up? If Mbappe is on the pitch, I know Mbappe is going to take. Is Vinicius guaranteed to just take the penalty, even if he missed last week? If Mbappe is not on the pitch, or Valverde can take as well, or is there anyone else who can take? I had Sabozla in my FPL. He scored a free kick that was great against Tottenham, but I also had Ekitike and he did nothing. Only 5 minutes remaining to the deadline. Only 5 minutes. Vinicius did miss a pen. Yeah, I'm saying because you missed. Is he definitely going to be on the next one? I don't know. Suarez is on penalties. He's going to take a penalty for Sporting if they get one today. So I appreciate you guys watching as always. So I did a team selection video, recorded and everything, and then I realized there was so much noise. Because there was people drilling stuff and fixing stuff. I don't even know how the microphone was picking that up. Who are you guys captaining tomorrow? Let me check this, Paul. If your captain doesn't deliver today, are you like captaining Yamal, Alvarez? Let me check the poll one more. 36% have said they're captaining an Arsenal player. Wow. And then 26% have said a Sporting or Bodo Glimt player. I fall on that 26%. 21% a Man City player. I'm assuming it's Haaland or Semenyo maybe. 18% a PSG player. I'm guessing Dembele or Kuvara, or maybe even Hakimi. Some people are trusting Hakimi. So Rafinha, because he scored a hat-trick, says Ray. Okay, so majority of you are captaining an Arsenal player. I appreciate you guys watching. Only 2 minutes remain to the deadline. I'm going to go and screenshot my team quickly and put it in the tab and also on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, you can follow me at Glenn Kitely. Let's hope this is a much better week. Let's hope Suarez scores in those opening 20 minutes. And you remember that Glenn has him as captain ahead of Arsenal players. Yes. So if I'm going for Suarez of an Arsenal player, you have to deliver. Come on, don't let me down. I usually go for Arsenal players, apart from when they're scoring a lot of points. That's when I usually end up missing out on them. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for joining. Vera, Ray, FIFA Bots, nice seeing you again. Yasino, nice seeing you again. Renee, RK, Oa, everyone else who popped up as well. Relaxing Central, everyone else who popped up. I appreciate you guys watching. We'll be back again. I think there's no Champions League for days. There's an international break coming up until April, basically like 3 weeks, 4 weeks until we have the next Champions League round. So do you think Premier League is coming to London? I'm going to be like Thierry Henry. Inside, yes, I feel like we're going to win it. But I'm going to remain humble, as Haaland told us. I'm going to be humble. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.